Welcome to the FOX54 Week in Review. I'm Sedona Meadows. This week we have lots to share about growth and progress in our region, but where we're going to start our look at North Alabama at its best with education. And we start with our latest top teacher. Here's Kanisha Dees.
Now, the Valley's top teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
Is her name and math is her game. This math coach at Hazelwood Elementary School finds joy in helping her students with numbers, and she gets a bit creative with it. Meet this week's Valley's top teacher from Town Creek, Amber Murray. In Amber Murray's class.
So you did standard algorithms, is what you did? Okay, that's good.
Math is her specialty.
Okay, is that kind of hard to do? Can you do that in your head?
And also as a math coach,
I like us thinking of other ways to do, other strategies we can use.
It's her strategy.
I actually help teachers with their Tier 1 instruction to improve it so there'll be less students in Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction.
And with her heart.
Remember our hand signals. We're going to fist on our heart, ready to what? Start. Very good.
She leads.
I've always been the one, the mothering type, always, the kids would always come around. Even when I was younger, I babysat a lot.
And math coach Murray says she's here to serve.
This is my third year being a teacher in residence.
But the role of teaching is not her first rodeo.
This is my 21st year teaching. Yes, I'm old.
She's a great example of what is necessary in the field of education right now.
Her principal, Chris Lewis, says she's willing to roll up her sleeves and get to work.
She works hard, she's consistent, she loves the kids, she has great relationships with them, and she's just willing to get in there and get gritty.
Show me your Me Too motion.
Me too.
Very good. I love my job, I love all of my staff, I love my principal, I love everyone that I work with, and I love all these kids. They are so funny. I could write a book of all the things. We have fun. We have fun in learning. I tell them there's a time and place for everything. We got to do our work, but we also have to learn at the same time.
Congratulations, Amber. You definitely know how to liven up a classroom. See more of her on FOX54.com and Nominated Teacher 2.
I can wave my hand. He's a smooth talker, and for only 2 feet tall, he can really bust a move. And as far as Asbury Elementary School is concerned, he's the BMOC, the best machine on campus.
And his name is Milo. And Milo is used as a teacher resource to be able to have an extra tool in the classroom to meet those student needs.
Milo was specifically built to help special needs students, like those on the autism spectrum, develop social and communication skills that will get them through school and through their lifetimes. Marshall County is only one of a handful of schools in the state of Alabama to incorporate this technology in the classroom, but Milo is catching on in other schools across the country. But does he work? A faculty research study from Youngstown State University sounds promising. A professor of teacher education and leadership studies at YSU says, quote, "The results from the first year of data collection are positive and indicate that students made significant gains." Marshall County leadership agrees.
The outcomes are even more than what we could expect.
And Milo is not alone in his journey to help students. He's flanked by 3 other robotic classmates who could be utilized to help students of different backgrounds, including Jimmy, inspired by Dr. Mae Jemison, the first woman of color in space.
Dr. Wigley and I are always looking for cutting-edge technology and resources that can help our teachers. We have amazing teachers in Marshall County Schools, so any tool that we can add for them to help students.
Marshall County teachers say they have already seen an improvement in student interaction and their ability to listen, learn, and participate. Chase McPherson, FOX54.com.
Day is important because we want to set the foundations for children. We want them to be able to learn all the skills they can to prepare themselves for school, whether it's structure, whether it's tying their shoes, whether it's opening up their own coats, their own jackets, opening up their own milk cartons. We are the stage for them to understand what it's like to be in school so that they could be successful.
K4 Day has been an annual event in our district for several years now, and it seems to be a great transition, not only getting new families in our building, but also helping them feel comfortable starting a new year.
Earth Day is just a few days away, and today students at Holy Spirit Regional Catholic Church celebrated the environment big through their outdoor classroom program. Miss Lynn McQueen, who is a science teacher at the school, started the program a couple of years ago to get students excited to learn about the environment and how they can make a positive impact.
I believe in hands-on, outdoor classroom, any kind of experimental work in science. That's how you learn about science. That's how you learn about our environment. I'm trying to teach them why it's important to save our world.
When we first came to school here, they were telling me about how they wanted to start a hydroponic system in the back and compost and everything in the bird sanctuary, and I was just all in for that.
We love our The middle school students who are a part of the program get to share their knowledge with younger students and get to see their products come to life. They emphasize what Earth Day is every day, and today's lesson was one of their favorites.
This week, the mayor of Athens was rescued from a high tower and brought down on a medical gurney. But it was a planned catastrophe, a demonstration for members of the Mayor's Youth Commission as part of a First Responders Day. See more of the rescue and a photo gallery of the event. Just head over to FOX54.
The University of Alabama in Huntsville held a groundbreaking today for a new 80,000 square foot engineering facility. The facility will be named in memory of Raymond B. Jones, longtime community leader and past chairman of the UAH Foundation. The College of Engineering has nearly 3,000 students enrolled, and the new building will accommodate the college's growth, along with advanced research and development. It'll also enhance collaborative learning and foster innovation for future engineers in the college's technical programs.
From the day I got here, the number one thing I heard from people in this community is we need more engineers. And so we have to answer that call, right? And so it's been a real priority for us, because for us to grow the enrollment, we have to have facilities.
It will enable us to graduate engineers with bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees who will contribute to filling the rapidly growing workforce needs of our region and our state.
The new engineering building construction is expected to commence in the fall of 2024.
And several big groundbreaking ceremonies this morning. This is where Crestwood Medical Center ER in Harvest will be built at the corner of Highway 53 and Burwell Drive. That should be a comfort to potential patients who live in the area and have to drive into the city for urgent care. The facility should open early next year. And ground was broken for a BJ's Wholesale Club being built on Graphics Drive here in Madison. This will be the first BJ's in the state. If you're not familiar, it's very similar to a Sam's Club or Costco. BJ's will open this fall.
NASA's welcoming the return of Rocket Fair to the Rocket City this weekend. The annual rocket launching competition will host more than 50 teams from 21 different states. Our Jasmine Bird takes us to the popular showcase, allowing students to display their rockets.
As you can see behind me today, we are having so much fun right here at the Rocket Fair, and students are showcasing their rockets. Let's take a look.
We have our GPS tracking module inside for this part of the rocket, and then our other side of the rocket, we have our altimeter bay, and this bay basically helps us deploy parachutes from one end of the rocket and helps us deploy parachutes from the other end of the rocket. And all the electronics and coding are right inside.
Stony Brook University senior mechanical engineering student Michael Dobo is intrigued by aerospace engineering and hopes to one day land a job at NASA.
My only way to really get into that industry was just going to really this competition.
Another student, Meredith Patterson, says her team is very lucky to be able to launch tomorrow.
Because about 10 days ago we had a total motor catastrophe that blew up the back half of our rocket, and we basically had to rebuild it, and our payload was destroyed, and the payload was rebuilt up to 75% operation in about 4 days.
University of Central Florida student Brad Potier says his team ran into somewhat of a similar issue.
Before competition, we had to do 2 demonstration flights for our rocket. For the first demonstration flight, our rocket didn't separate fully, and one of our main parachutes didn't deploy, so our rocket literally slammed to the ground at 150 miles per hour.
Carson Wirtz also shares the interesting backstory behind his team's rocket.
It's always revolves around Norse mythology.
NASA's Next Gen STEM project manager Carrie Olson says this challenge is all about students constructing and launching rockets together.
And it's not just that, right? Like, they have to learn to work as a team. They have to use each other's strengths and compromise.
Today is the official NASA student launch right here in Huntsville, and we're about to lift off right now. As I'm sure you can imagine, there was no shortage of rockets at today's launch. Well, that and pure excitement.
Oh, we're pretty pumped, yeah.
I overheard one team saying they drove 40 hours to get here. Luckily, other teams, like the one from UAH, had a much shorter journey.
You know, we get to host in our backyard, and hearing everyone cheer when our rocket launched, it was really amazing, and it really something to be here. So
this year will be that same team's first and last year at this competition.
We're a senior design team, so everyone on here, it's our first year competing in SLI, so this is all new to all of us, and we made a lot of new designs and a lot of new ideas.
The competition where innovation is at the forefront of everyone's mind, especially the students from Purdue University.
We always try to innovate our rocket design each year. This year we're featuring airfoil fins and just continuing to push innovation forward. So
I was able to capture the launching of their rocket and their reactions. A student from the University of Alabama shares the importance of working with a team now.
To be able to work with a team and lead a team with such diverse people, they come from all walks of life, and they have different characters and personalities to work with. That gives you a taste of what it's going to be like to work in the industry.
Because one day she'll be on a team making its way into orbit.
I'm very thrilled to be a part of this Artemis age where we're going back to the moon and beyond. We're going to Mars. I believe that, in the future, we're definitely going to see women represented equally in all of these aspects, and I will be there. I'll be at the forefront, and I'll be leading all of our amazing efforts.
Experts say more than 42,000 people die in traffic crashes each year here in the U.S. Huntsville's rapid growth will likely see its share of traffic incidents, and the city says it's doing its best to keep those numbers down. Our Kim McCoy has more.
Huntsville's population growth means there are not only more people driving, but also taking public transportation, biking, and walking, which can unfortunately create traffic problems.
All right, as we're adding folks, maybe people who aren't as familiar with the area, don't know their way around as well, which can cause distracted driving or can cause incidents if they're not really familiar with our street network.
The Department of Urban and Long-Range Planning is developing Vision Zero Huntsville, a plan to ensure safe, healthy, and equitable mobility for all.
Basically setting a goal to minimize minimize and at the end eliminate bike, pedestrian, and traffic fatalities. This is done through a variety of methods, but mostly it's looking at how is our infrastructure put in place, what types of safeguards and what types of design are we engaged in making our roads safer for all users.
Madsen says it's not so much that the city is growing, but it's more of the current infrastructure.
When people don't have as many opportunities to walk or bike or take transit to different destinations, when it's really focused heavily on the car, I think considerations for all those other modes get lost, and we're not always paying attention to pedestrians, and we're not always paying attention to cyclists, and that, I think, opens us up for more of those potential accidents.
Starting tonight, citizens have a chance to learn more about Vision Zero Huntsville through a series of forums while also discussing their safety concerns.
Any commuter or any person in a neighborhood is going to know their own experiences better than we are. When people are walking the same route day to day or biking the same route day to day, they can see patterns and they can notice issues far more quickly and in much more detail than the city can.
In 1990, the obesity rate here in Alabama sat at a little over 11%, doubling 10 years later in 2000 to nearly 23%. Fast forward to 2023, where it now sits right over 36%, meaning the rate of obesity here has tripled over the past 3 decades. Healthy Huntsville wants to lead the change. One of the most simple ways we can lead this change is by simply moving our bodies.
So we know moving our bodies is helpful.
When it comes to keeping things simple, another way to combat obesity and promote healthy lifestyles is to actually step outside.
And we also know separately just being outside in a park-like setting is helpful.
But the benefits go beyond just physical health. Moving your body, even in the most simple of ways, like a walk, can improve your mental health.
Moving our bodies helps keep our body young, our brain young, and keeps our brain sharp. So it affects our whole body.
Something to remember is that everyone's fitness goals are different, but one thing we all have in common is that basic movement is recommended for all.
Even if people don't want to lose weight or change their appearance, the key thing is we're all recommended to move our bodies on a regular basis. And these Healthy Huntsville activities help promote that.
And if you're finding it difficult to pick yourself up and move, here's one piece of advice. Only focus one step at a time.
Evidence shows that even 10 minutes of activity will boost your health and your mood. And that's the great thing, is it'll become self-reinforcing once they start with little steps and they realize, I feel better, I'm in a better mood, I sleep better, and I have more energy to actually engage with others, in my social environment.
Through the Healthy Huntsville initiative, the city is hosting several upcoming events to get folks moving. For more information, head on over to FOX54.com. Nixon Norman, Fox 54 News. The willingness to give life can be the greatest gift someone on a transplant registry can receive. April is National Donate Life Month, and Legacy of Hope and the University of Alabama Birmingham are teaming up to help those in need. Our Kim McCoy is here with more. Ken, what can you tell us?
Nixon, one donor can save up to 8 lives, according to Legacy of Hope. And with close to 1,300 people here in Alabama on the wait list, that can make a big difference.
One of the most important things I think people aren't aware of is how many people are in need of a transplant.
Becoming an organ donor is more than just giving an organ, it's helping those in need keep enjoying the things they love.
There's about 1,300 people who are needing an organ transplant. Nationally, that's over 100,000 people. And when we think about that, that's Bryant-Denny Stadium, that's Jordan-Hare Stadium, that's people like me and you and anybody who's going to a game or that you see at the grocery store.
Legacy of Hope is partnering with the University of Alabama Birmingham to help those in need of a transplant.
Our mission and vision is that we'll end the weight and suffering by shepherding the gift of life to those in need of organ and tissue transplants. We're part of their Health Services Foundation, and UAB has such an incredible transplant program, and so we're so thankful for their support.
With close to 1,300 here in Alabama on the wait list, majority of them are in need of a kidney.
Of the 1,300 people in Alabama needing a transplant, over 1,000 of them are needing a kidney transplant. So the need for kidney transplants are huge. You know, we have 2 and we only need 1. So one person, when they're alive, can share a kidney.
But there are many who are hesitant about the process.
I think a lot of people don't think about it. We don't realize how big the need is, and we don't think about what's going to happen to us when we're gone. I think a lot of us don't realize it and think about it in our everyday until we're having conversations with someone who received a transplant.
And those conversations can make all the difference.
You never know who you may help. It could be a young family that's just getting started out and somebody needed a pair of lungs or a heart, and you can extend their life on.
The gift of life is one of the best gifts you can give someone who truly needs it.
One of the things I try to explain to folks is you don't really need your organs after you're gone, and you could extend someone else's life by many years and kind of leave a legacy of yourself behind.
And for someone who delivers a lot of gifts, his gift came in the form of a heart transplant.
I had a major heart issue, had a heart attack that almost killed me. The heart attack was about 6 months before the actual heart transplant, when I actually called and said, okay, I'm ready, go ahead and put me on the transplant list. It was 4 hours until they found a matching heart.
Legacy of Hope and the University of Alabama, Birmingham are teaming up to help those in need of an organ transplant.
We're part of their Health Services Foundation, and UAB has such an incredible transplant program, and so we're so thankful for their support.
But there are many who are hesitant about the process.
I think a lot of people don't think about it. We don't realize how big the need is, and we don't think about what's going to happen to us when we're gone. I think a lot of us don't realize it and think about it in our everyday until we're having conversations with someone who received a transplant.
And that gift can help make total strangers friends for life.
I had written letters to the donor family trying to reach out, and one day I got a very random and wonderful phone call from my heart donor's mom, and we have connected and talked all the time since. We're very good friends, and we get together a few times each year, and Christmas is a very special time because of the whole Santa thing that I do.
For FOX54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Whether you're a dog person or not, there's no denying the joy dogs bring to people all over the world. That was put on full display today over in Mid-City at the Orion. Hundreds of people and their four-legged family members were in attendance, and so was I. The dog days are not over here at the Orion Amphitheater, where the Greater Huntsville Humane Society is hosting their first ever Pup Palooza.
Our goal today is to raise $7,000 either in person or online or through PayPal, and all $7,000 is going to go back to the revamp of our indoor dog kennels.
Something the Humane Society is in dire need of, because like most shelters and rescues, they're currently full.
We have no space. We're at max capacity, just like all of the other rescues here in the area.
But today's event went beyond all of that. Today was just about being a dog.
And it's a great day, beautiful weather to get out and just be a dog.
Some of the business owners I spoke with, such as Laurel Shockley, owner of Underdog Bakery, shared their love for all things canine.
You know, when I first started this business, I was almost shy to say, yes, I make baked goods for dogs. But then it was so warmly welcomed when we started doing it that it was like, I found my people, because we love creating things that enhance a dog's life.
So did Bear Stapley of Cape Photo.
Well, for me personally, I think that dogs are, literal like angelic beings that have come down to help us through our passage in this life and to guide us and just give us love. And unfortunately, we don't get to keep them for very long because they give so much of themselves. And so I'm just happy to spend any time I can with dogs.
As well as Elizabeth Fangnavong with For the Love of Frenchies.
We love all animals, from horses to dogs to cats. And the way that you see society treat them, it just breaks my heart. And so that's why we started For the Love of Frenchies, because we love our dogs just like they're people. They're our fur babies.
That's That's it for your Fox 54 Week in Review. Remember, for breaking news and in-depth reporting, visit fox54.com. This and many other special video features can be found throughout the week on Fox 54 Plus on your Roku or Fire TV device. For the Fox 54 News team, I'm Sedona Meadows. We'll see you next time.